Hi there, good noon and welcome to BYJU'S exam prep channel that is dedicated to your success in the CAT exam. Our goal behind these sessions is to put you into that elite group of students who go on to be in the top 1% and perhaps even better. If you're new to this channel, do not forget to press the subscribe button and we actually continue conducting a lot of sessions. Okay, so if you are not very regular here, you may miss out on a lot of those sessions, and therefore an absolutely fantastic idea is to press the bell icon so that you are able to turn on the notifications for this particular session as well. Those notifications ensure that all the sessions that we conduct on any given day, they continue to reach you and reach you rather well. So that's the goal, that's the plan, and I hope that you'd be able to look at that accordingly and maybe get the best out of this particular channel of ours. In fact, even today, apart from my session, do you know that there are 2 more sessions that are supposed to take place? So that's how it is. So notifications will be absolutely fantastic. So we conduct sessions that are built around strategy, sessions that are built around some core concepts. So for example, today we plan to sit down and talk about para completion. My name is Vikrant. I have 100%, I've scored 100% and 100 percentile in CAT VARC, and I am your coach for all things related to English and communication skills here. Additionally, if you ever struggle with anything, including especially the psychological aspects of preparation, I am the one that your queries are usually sent to, routed through. So, before we start, do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? Is there anything that you want to ask or talk about? Hi Abhijit, and who else is there? Yeah, I'm not able to. Okay, Harshad. Oh, Harshad, you're still around. Man, what's up? Give me the latest dope. What exactly is happening? क्या नया चल रहा है? So no questions, I assume. So let us in that case go ahead and start off by talking about this specific area that we have started, and that is para completion. Now I have also conducted some sessions before this, and this in a way builds upon those sessions. But before I take you to the topic, here is something for you to think over. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. So don't give up. Persevere, keep at it every day, and I'm sure that you'd go on to get an absolutely great, absolutely sensational percentile. So, para completion, right? What exactly is para completion? Okay, Harshad, ZAT की तैयारी यार, फिर ये session तेरे लिए नहीं है. Then in that case, you can actually skip this. I in fact took a ZAT session yesterday at 12. You do well to review that. And from 19th of October, we are starting a crash course of ZAT. 15 sessions, 7 p.m. from 19th October onwards, 19th December onwards, right? So what exactly is para completion? So as the name suggests, para completion is a question type where we are given a paragraph with a blank, and traditionally that is exactly what it has been. In the exam we come across certain questions where we are given a paragraph with a blank. The blank can be at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. In fact, they introduced a particularly nasty variety in CAT 2006 where they gave us a paragraph and said pick up which one of the following is going to be the last sentence of the paragraph. Very challenging variety. Okay, but then after a while para completion was lost to the winds of time until CAT 22, where it made a reappearance in a new avatar. So what was special in this new avatar? This. So this question gave us a sentence at the beginning. So literally there was this heading called sentence, and then there was a heading called paragraph. Now the paragraph that was given to you, this paragraph actually had 4 blanks. Now the sentence will fit into one of these 4 blanks. Your job was to figure out the most suitable blank for that sentence. And those of you who have been working with me, you know that I call this sentence the lost sentence. है ना, अपने घर में बैठा हुआ था एक particular जगह पे फिर गुम गया. It was there safe within a paragraph and then it somehow got left out and became lost. And our job is to guide it back home to its right place, right position. So how do we go ahead and solve it? So the approach is something that depends on your ability to understand what a paragraph is first and foremost. So if I were to ask you to define a paragraph, what would you say? What's a paragraph? So you notice when you write an essay, when we write an article, you typically see, or for that matter, even when you read it, you typically see that the examiner goes on to divide the paragraph into a lot of, divide that article into a lot of paragraphs, right? So why do we really go on to divide a lengthier text into paragraphs? Why do we do that? Harshad, Z ka para completion is a little, Z on the whole, yes, I think the difficulty level is on the higher side, so I can understand. So let's say you have an essay, right? So obviously every essay has a topic, but then every topic can have different aspects to it. So let's call them aspect 1, aspect 2, aspect 3. Okay, so for example, if you want to talk about Delhi, you can talk about the history of the city, you can talk about the current demography, you can talk about the tourist attractions, you can talk about places to eat. This one is my favorite. Okay, you can talk about how to travel around Delhi and the things to be mindful of. So you notice whenever you pick up a topic, you typically have a lot of different aspects that you want to talk about. So what do? When you move from one aspect to another, you tend to change the paragraph. So a paragraph literally is one specific aspect of a topic. Now if we were to define it formally, of course this is not how we'd go ahead and write it. This is what I then will tell you, that a paragraph is a group of related sentences that group can do various things. Okay, that group can express an opinion, it can provide you information, tell a story, or simply describe something. But at the end of the day, the entire group is oriented towards one particular aspect of usually a larger topic. Okay, so how do we go on to approach, what's happening to my clicker today? So how should we go on to approach the para completion questions? Fair enough. So let's look at the approach. The very first thing that I want you to do is to read the paragraph, figure out what the paragraph is about, and capture that theme of the paragraph, that summary, in your own words, irrespective of the question type. So since some of us are here to get pointers on that para completion, you obviously read the paragraph first, but even for the variety that CAT gives us, I see a lot of people starting with the sentence, then going to the paragraph and then trying to fit it in. That becomes a hodgepodge. It's always a great idea to start with the paragraph, and frankly speaking, half of the questions can get solved by reading the paragraph itself. So you read it, there are blanks, but suddenly you notice that, hey, these two sentences, they're not connected. There is something missing. So you automatically know that the lost sentence can probably be put in there. So here is a paragraph for you. Why don't you read it and tell me what this paragraph is about? So what do you think? What's the subject matter right here? Read it? So what is the theme? So this is how I would describe it. This entire paragraph is about growing use of smartphones, especially among teenagers, and that this trend is worrisome. So you need to develop the ability to do it, and this ability will help you in multiple ways. Okay, so you remember we have this question type in CAT called para summary question. This is exactly what you're supposed to do for that. Then when it comes to reading comprehension, we so very often tell you that you need to generate a mental overview of the passage, and a mental overview of the passage is nothing but the key idea of every paragraph. So this is a very useful ability. It of course also helps us in para completion, so you should focus on developing this. And in case you're worried about whether I'm doing the right job or a wrong job, good job or a bad job, you can always look at your accuracy rate in para summary questions. If your accuracy rate there is low, then you know that you still have some distance to cover before you go ahead and become excellent. So once you've done this, the next thing that you do is look at the supporting detail and how the paragraph has been organized, how the different ideas develop. Okay, so basically I want you to follow the flow of ideas, and once you've managed to figure out that flow, you should be able to arrive at the answer. So for instance, to take you back to this paragraph, let's see how it starts. Almost half of teenagers and more than a quarter of adults now own a smartphone, with most using the iPhone or Android phone to browse Facebook and email. So statistics related to the percentage of people who are using a smartphone. Then the study also shows that they have begun to intrude on our most private moments. So we've introduced something negative, right? And then from there we are now specifically talking about 47% of the teenagers admitting that they use their device in the toilet, whereas only 22% of the adults have the same habit. So what's happening here now? Fact with respect to use of smartphones, then negative effect, and then a comparison between teenagers and adults. So if you were to continue, if you were to put something here in this blank, you would perhaps put in something that goes ahead and describes, or it can give you a reason behind the difference. It can talk about yet another difference in the use between teenagers and adults. So you notice this flow of ideas automatically guides you, and thereafter the third and the last thing that you do is you use the techniques that you are taught during your sessions on parajumbles. So I don't know whether you've attended my session on parajumble or not, but in that class we go ahead and talk about the fact that every sentence can have a word based clue or an idea based clue embedded within it. So it is that clue that allows us to link that particular sentence with some other sentence. So even here, you look at the lost sentence that is given to you up top, and then you look at the sentences that come before and after the blank and see whether the lost sentence corresponds to those clues or not, fits into that jigsaw puzzle or not, and that generally is sufficient to provide the answer. So let's go ahead and work on some questions. So, ready? Question number 1. Here it is on your screen. Where would you want to put the lost sentence? Take your time, share your answer, and then we can go ahead and talk about it. Shall we? Should I start looking at it? Okay, so let's have a look. So what do? We start with the paragraph. Okay, so soon an English woman with her daughter joined us and began to talk about her daughter who was studying philosophy at university. She's a deep thinker, the woman said. After 5 minutes more of sharing her personality traits, they were gone. They were scoffing packets of crisps and stabbing at their smartphones. So there is no obvious place or position that I see, but let's look at the sentence now. The people surrounding me, mainly workers from nearby financial firms, were on their lunch break. So you notice first blank. So this is basically a descriptive paragraph, right? It describes a particular scene. The first blank, this is not something that can go here because in the blank afterwards, the woman is telling us more about her daughter. Then even after the second blank, the same idea is carried forward. After 5 minutes more of sharing her personality traits, they were gone. So the woman and her daughter, they were gone. So it still continues that. So how about third? The people surrounding me, mainly workers from nearby financial firms, were on their lunch break. You see, if I do not put anything at location 3, it says they were gone, and then like they were scoffing packets of crisps and stabbing at their smartphone, but they're gone. Why are we describing them now? So there is this logical inconsistency here. On the other hand, if I introduce the lost sentence into this particular place, we don't have that issue. And now this they can talk about the people surrounding me. And can I put it at sentence 4? But then if I put it at location 4, that logical inconsistency will not be resolved. And therefore the best location for the lost sentence is location 3. Let's have a look at the next one. Here it is. Question number 2 on the screen for you. Go ahead, give it a shot. Let's see what you choose. Hi, Vayun, you can always, once we are done, you can always go back and look at it again. That's the beauty of the recordings, no? So instead of my having to repeat it again, you can very easily go ahead and go through that again. And I actually read it just now. If I start doing it now, all those who are solving question 2, then it can become a little distracting for them. So let's focus on question 2. Go through the recording again, and if you are not able to understand it even thereafter, reach out to me. We can definitely talk about it moving forward. Okay, so I have one answer from Harshad. What about the rest of us? Where are the answers, guys? Give me the answers. Okay, so when I read the paragraph, I noticed that the sentence after the third blank talks about these very differences. Now you know that these is a pronoun. It needs to have a noun to refer to, but the sentence before blank 3 does not have any mention of any differences. On the other hand, when I look at the lost sentence, you notice it talks about some differences. So these can be brought in to justify the use of these very differences. And that is why third is indeed going to be the best answer choice for question number 2. And with that, let me take you into your next question. Question number 3 on your screen. Take your time and tell me what you think. Okay, so this is a relatively lengthy question, but indeed, Harshad, the best location will be 4, and the reason is if you look at the sentence that comes after blank 1, it has this yet. Yet requires contrast, and the lost sentence does not provide the contrast, and thus this is ruled out. Similarly, sentence after location 2 uses but, which once again needs contrast. Lost sentence does not give you that contrast, but the sentence which is already there does. So even this is ruled out. And now the curious thing about the lost sentence is it talks about more and less knowledgeable. So this it that is given after sentence 3 has its noun in the previous sentence, plus it's only when you combine it with the previous sentence that you get that idea of more and less knowledgeable. Moreover, the lost sentence talks about citizens and not just the students. And therefore, location 3 will be sub-ideal for it. Location 4 indeed works the best. And with that, let's have a look at the next one. Question 4. Here it is on the screen. So, what's your take? See, Harshad, if I talk about location 2, look at the lost sentence. It says most were first time users. So first of all, the sentence that comes before needs to tell us most of whom. Number 2, it is in the past tense. But if you look at it, the user interface caters to a Hindi speaking audience who have minimal to no experience with digital services and devices. We're not even talking about a specific set of people. Moreover, the previous sentence is basically in the present tense, so this won't work. Same problem will come in third, but if you look at the sentences that come afterwards, household members desirous of improving their family's financial strength to reach their aspirations can also benefit, present. But the next sentence changes it. We piloted Aage Badhe in early 21 with over 400 women from rural areas. Most were first time users. Now you are talking about the past. So this is the only place where that past comes into picture, and that is why 4 should be the best location for it. So in this case, the clue was the tense of the lost sentence. So it's a tense consistency that we had to look at, and that is why, remember in parajumbles, I normally say that it requires logic, comprehension, grammar, vocabulary. It's a combination of all of those things. You add technique on top of that. And here is one more question for you. And Harshad, especially for you, specifically for you, whenever I have the next 100 most expected questions for that session happening at 12, I will make sure that I'll add 2 para completion questions there, apart from some of the others. Yesterday we looked at a couple of poems. In the next one, let's have a look at a paragraph, 2 odd para completions, and maybe let's throw in some critical reasoning, particularly logical flaws. They were asked last year. So, अरे बाद में देख लिया कर भाई जब भी टाइम मिले. And you can always reach out to me whenever you have some doubts. So in this particular case, when I read the paragraph, once again I notice that it talks about that coal ash, but there is no coal ash that is mentioned in the previous sentence. So coal ash is a synonym for what? Coal residue. So you need to introduce it here in order to justify the use of the word that. It's not a pronoun here, it's a possessive adjective technically, but that kind of a demonstrative too. So to as a result will be the most appropriate answer for it. So I hope that you liked working with me on this introductory session on para completion. If that is the case, don't forget to give the session a like, and you can actually join us for a much deeper discussion. But before you do that, how about going ahead and joining a batch for 3 days free of charge. So unlock your 3-day free trial, go through the sessions, see if they resonate with you, and then you can take a call and join our absolutely comprehensive CAT 2024 program, which basically goes on to cover all the bases for you. Right? And this program has actually gone on to produce great results in the past. In fact, once the 23 results are announced, I'd be able to update this slide and give you something which is even better. So that's it from me today. Until I meet you next, stay safe, stay focused, and stay in touch. If you need to reach out to me, you can use these places, particularly the Telegram channel that you see at number 4. Right? I am there. You'd be able to tag me there as well. My name is Vikrant. So that's it from me today. Enjoy your weekend. Until we meet again, take care and have a great time.